Thank you for joining us for United Way Community Connections. And today we're talking with Cindy Heady from the Paducah Day Nursery and Brent Housman. Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brent, what is your responsibilities at Day Nursery?
I have just completed a year of the president of the board of directors there, so now I'm, I guess, immediate past president.
So you're coasting now, aren't you?
I am on the downhill slide.
And yet you are still here,
Yes,
so
he
you
is.
survived.
I'm not
Well,
sure how this happened, but this seems like a current president
Yeah.
job duty, but
That's
I am
okay.
here anyway.
We will take you because you have the history.
That's right.
And Cindy has been on a year, 2 years.
I came on Paducah Day Nursery in December of 2004.
Okay, so
And
it's
took
been-
over as director in September of 2005.
All right, then we're glad to have you. Welcome aboard. You're one of the
Thank you.
newest agency executives.
Yes, I
and,
am. I'm the new one. I
so-
look to you guys for a lot of guidance.
Well, you usually can get that. Let's talk about the day nursery. I have found in the time I have been here, so many people don't even know it exists. And you've been here how many years?
Well, they actually started in 1911.
That's a long time ago.
And then incorporated in 1916, and I like to tell our board members as well as our parents, we're probably the best kept secret in town, unfortunately.
I agree.
We are one of the best kept
yeah.
secrets.
And yet you do such a service for this community and the families in this community. And I know, I would say most of the people I talk with do not know that you exist. And so I'm always really glad to tell them, yes, you need to go to Paducah Day Nursery. You have been around that long, and I remember the stories that have been told before about the Mothers Club, how it got started during the war, and it's just, it's just grown from that time, but yet you still do the same thing.
That's exactly right. It
Except you
hasn't,
do it better.
We serve
it hasn't
children.
changed.
Yeah,
Yes.
it has not changed. How many children do you have there, and what's some of your program that you offer, Cindy?
We have 72 children enrolled. Our average daily attendance is about 56 children. We have daily schedules that provide a variety of curriculum. We look for physical development, cognitive development, and social development. We try to work with the Head Starts to see what we need to get our preschoolers ready for whenever they do start Head Start. We just have busy days. We really do. We keep them busy by trying to learn through play. If we tried to sit down, and show a child this is an A, this is the letter B, they might not do that. So we're very creative in the way we get the children to learn.
So it's more than just a babysitting service.
Oh, most
then.
definitely, most definitely.
What ages are you able to take care of there?
6 weeks to 12 years.
All right.
Yes.
And you are licensed by the state,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you are a licensed daycare,
Yes.
and the state has some guidelines
Yes,
that you
quite a
have
few
to follow.
guidelines, yes. And actually, we're in the process of going through the rating system to become a STARS for Kids Now participant, which is like above and beyond licensing standards. So that's something we're really looking forward to. We've been there, but we just, we're ready to get the rating now.
That's
for the
good.
STARS level 2.
I know that is not an easy thing to do for a daycare center such as yours, because
Yes.
basically you serve the low-income parents who
Yes.
work or go to school
Yes.
and
We-
have
we
a
have
place for their children.
96% of our families are at or below the 130% guideline, or the poverty guideline. So, actually we are serving, the low income families. Our rates are based on a sliding scale, which is based on the parent's income. So, we are the affordable daycare, in Paducah.
And you
we-
work with the parents for, a one-on-one basis then
Yes.
when they need to.
We examine their income. Most of the area rates are $16 to $25 a day for daycare. And whenever you look at, 96% of our parents have, are at 130% of the poverty guidelines, that's $24,000 a year for a family of 4 of an income guideline. So if you look at even $16 a day, whenever you look at that a year, that's $8,300 that they would be spending in daycare, which would be a half of their income. You know, I myself could not pay half of my, you know, income towards childcare. That's what
Because
you
you
want to do
still
for
have the other
yes,
expenses.
food, shelter,
Yes.
you know. So we base it. We look at their income, and our income, our fees are based on that sliding scale, which are anywhere from $6 a day to $16 a day.
And that's for one child. And
Yes, ma'am.
is there a difference? Because I know some of them have more than one child, maybe.
We look at that. We normally do, you know, like $1 off if we have a family of 2 or 3 children.
Well, that's affordable then. And that, would you say that probably day nursery allows families to keep working or keep going to school? Because if they had to pay $16 a day,
They couldn't do it.
they couldn't
really couldn't
continue
do it.
to do that.
Yes.
And that's actually our purpose.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that we keep our focus on that purpose. That not just to provide quality daycare, which is obviously our first goal, but to make sure that we provide it with the support of United Way, with the support of some of the food programs, that we provide that quality daycare at the affordable price. If they can't afford it, it doesn't matter how good the daycare is. If they can't use it, they can't take
That's very
advantage.
true.
Yes.
And a lot of folks, and you know, I was reminded when I pulled up here in the parking lot, you know, I see students going to school, I see parents going to work, I see them trying to better themselves, and sometimes they don't have the support system that some of us have. You know, I'm
Some of them
fortunate.
don't have families here.
I'm
that
fortunate
can
to have
take it.
family here to be able to help with that. And if they're new to this area, they don't have family, they have to rely on an organization like ours.
Yes. And yet they don't know about you a lot of times. So that referral system is going to have to be in place for us to let the community know that you are here, your quality daycare.
Absolutely.
A lot of when I ask parents as they come in to inquire about the daycare, I ask them, how did you hear about us? And a lot of them are, you know, one of my fellow students at the college had told me about you guys, because there's a lot of my families that are able to receive Audubon, which is the child care subsidy, but actually that is not offered for full-time students. You have to work a minimum of 20 hours a week, so they don't consider education, you know, working. So actually for our parents who are going to school, you know, they have a full-time, you know, they're trying to go to school full-time to better themselves and their children. And, you know, we are a must-needed commodity for them.
Yes, I'm sure. So I think we have to work on getting the word out
Yes.
to folks and letting them know that that you are there and what you are, what you've been about for all of these years and the experiences that that you've had. Are you, I know in state, we talked about state guidelines. How many staff do you have and how is that regulated, or
Well,
how
we
do
are
you decide?
regulated by the state on that, and we are actually, we always tend to be over ratio is what they call. Just an example is, you know, state guideline ratios is 5 infants to one staff member. And we, you know, honestly, 5 infants to one staff member is not going to be. So we always have a floater person in between that room and the toddler room to help out, you know, if you have a child that, you know, needs a little bit of extra attention that day. You know, we are well within state guidelines, and I would like to think a little bit more. The ratio for 2-year-olds is 10 2-year-olds to one staff member. Well,
They have my sympathy. I
That's
have a
another
2-year-old
one, yes.
granddaughter, and I wouldn't
Would
want
you like
10.
10?
No, I
Yes.
would not. And I think that's something you don't think about.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
probably the
Yeah.
biggest thing to me as a board member. I have 3 children of my own and use the church nursery a lot at church, and I, you know, drop my kids off. And when coming on this board, that was probably one of the biggest things to me. I was very surprised, and worked the church nursery Sunday night with 12. There was one lady and 12 2-year-olds. You know, when I went to drop mine off, or 9, and then, you know, some more came. 12 2-year-olds for 2 of us
Yes.
were more than, after an hour and a half.
Exactly.
I was ready.
Yes.
I was ready
Yeah.
to go. But the ratios is probably something that was harder for me to get a grasp on. And I never realized that it is so structured that, you know, up to a certain age, less than 1 year, and they're in totally separate rooms. Infants have to be in this room, 2-year-olds have to be in this room, 3 and 4s in this room, after school in a totally separate area. And so to be able to manage this area, you're really running 4 or 5 different programs
In
all
one-
at the same
one
time,
facility,
all in
yeah.
the same area. And so it was pretty eye-opening to me to see
I'm
that.
sure.
Can I say, though, Paducah Day Nursery staff can make, you know, the 10 2-year-olds, you know, we have 2 staff members in there, and they make, and 2-year-olds is our potty training time. And,
Yes, it
and
is.
they're magic. I mean, it is, you know, literally magic. I had one 2-year-old that I had trouble, you know, getting to potty train and get that. So we have staff members that make it look like a cakewalk. They really do. It's you know, it's quite, and it just takes years of experience, practice, and education for that.
Well, and the passion also.
Yes.
If your workers have the passion,
Oh,
then
yes.
that makes it a big difference too. So I think that that makes a difference with the entire program. But whether a child wants to come back tomorrow after they've been there today, but
Yes.
having a good staff person there that they know they can depend
Yes.
on is going to be there tomorrow,
Yes.
and I see that face, that structure.
And
I think makes
that's,
a difference.
that's one thing that Paducah Day Nursery is kind of like the extended family. They have, you know, we have parents that see, oh, you know, I have these extra clothes, you know, they would probably fit so-and-so, so let me bring these in, and could you pass these on to this parent, or could you pass these on to whoever's in need? You know, we are totally blessed by parents who are working as a community to help each other out also. And that's, you know, great to see.
Yeah. With your parents, do you have any way of bringing them in to interact with other parents? Do you have a set time for them just to get together and talk?
All of our parents are invited, you know, especially at lunchtime. We have a lot of mothers that will come over on their lunch break. Now, that is the mothers that do get a substantial lunch break. A lot of the parents probably don't get that opportunity, but we have quite a few parents that will come in and eat lunch with us. They really enjoy the meals that we provide. We receive a food program grant that allows us to make some tremendous meals there. So, you know, that is one of the times that we do, and we have basically an open door policy. You know, any of the parents can come in anytime and see the kid, and that's one thing that a lot of the parents are surprised about when they come in. They say, you know, I can come in and see my child anytime, and yes, I want you to come in and see, you know, your child at any
And that's
time.
comforting to them,
Yes,
to,
it
to
is.
know that
Yes.
they're okay. They may have had a bad morning, but by the time they get back at noontime, they're doing fine.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and that's good.
Yeah.
It is good for that open door policy, I think.
We also encourage the parents to be involved, and Cindy may want to spend more time talking about it, but we have a lot of parents that may want to come read a book for story time, that may want to come and watch their kids on the playground, that may want to go to Noble Park right across the street for a field trip. And so we not only offer it, but encourage them to be involved and to be there to help us help their children. And Cindy knows the hours off the top of her head, but the number of enrichment hours or extra hours that
We've got 60 hours right now of enrichment hours, which means besides our direct care staff, 60 hours of people coming in and helping out. We have homework help. You wouldn't believe we have, I think right now we have 19 school-age children enrolled, and you know, of course, of that we probably have about an average of 15 in daily attendance. Well, that's 15 children that need to get their homework completed. So we have a lot of people that come in and do that just read a story. There's a lot of people that like to do arts and crafts and will come in and help out the staff and you know, bring some materials in and give us some different ideas, and also a lot of diversity in different cultures, and that's something that we really like.
then someone wanted to do something for you that they'll say, well, I'd like to go to the nursery, but I don't know what I would do. What are your greatest needs, would you say, in looking at volunteers and or things
Yeah.
that people could
You
get
know,
to
there
you?
is anything, and I've had people call and say, oh, homework help, it's been a while since I've been in school. We're not talking, but 12 is our age limit. So, coming in to help with homework, I think just for children, they love, and June, you've seen it whenever you've came in, they love
Yes.
company.
Yes.
And they love for people to come in and talk to them, and it just exposes them to a diverse group of people. So, we have homework help, we have arts and crafts, we have if you just want to come in and read a book. If a room of 10 makes you nervous, you can take one off to read a book. There's so many opportunities.
How about rocking?
Yes.
I think anybody can come and rock.
On the day.
Anybody can rock.
Especially in the infant room.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it doesn't take long. If you walk up to the gate at the infant room,
Yes.
they reach to you.
They
Yes.
do.
So if you're coming to rock, you may want to allow a few minutes extra because if you rock one, you usually have to rock a second.
That's true, and,
days when
that's
it-
a good thing.
Yeah. On days whenever everything else gets overwhelming, I go and pick up one of the children
That makes
and
the
just rock,
difference.
rock and soothe, and it reminds me why we're here and why we're
Yeah.
doing what we're doing.
Well, and I think having the passion to do it and the commitment to doing it,
Yes.
that's important because you can do a job, but, and I think particularly when you're dealing with children, they know whether it's real or
Yes,
not.
they do. Yes, they do.
And I think for parents, the greatest gift you can give to them is loving their child and taking care of that
Yes.
child when it's in your care. And I can say without doubt, Paducah Day Nursery certainly does
Yes.
that, and I appreciate what you all do.
We remind our staff a lot of times, June, and I sit in on some of Cindy's staff meetings with them, and we remind them if somebody is working full-time and going to school, I mean, if you think of that in a day's time, then chances are we have their child for all 3 meals. We give them 2 snacks in a day. So we fed them all their meals. Maybe a bedtime snack when they get home would be up to the parent. But we also take them, our after-school kids, we pick them up. We have transportation, so we go to the schools and we pick them up. We bring them to the daycare. Then we work on their homework. We give them their evening meal. And after you've had days like I have, sometimes after you've worked all day, you've been to school, you get home late in the evening, you don't feel like or you don't have time to cook dinner, you don't have time to do homework, you don't have time to give baths. And so sometimes Cindy and her staff, they are the mom
Yeah.
to that child. And I have seen kids hug them around the leg and reach up to them. I've seen the kids call them mom
Yeah.
before. And
Because they're with them more.
Yeah.
And that to me says an awful lot because
Yeah.
you don't fool a kid very
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
And they know when they're loved and
When
cared for.
The parents trust.
Yes.
It's a heavy responsibility
Oh,
some
certainly it
days
is.
to think, okay, I have, 72 children, that I'm responsible for, or us as a whole, Paducah Day Nursery is responsible for caring for their well-being. Of course, a family of 4 can be a little bit intimidating at times, but to know that that's, and I truly think that the parents have trust in the staff and the board, that they're going to be leading Paducah Day Nursery in the right direction. And our, like I said, our parents have extreme faith in what we do, and that's because we take, those children and treat them like we would like our own to be treated.
Yes.
So.
Yes, you do. And you mentioned the board, so let's get back to you then and talk about your board, how you're a governing board, you are a working board, I
Oh,
know
they
that
are.
for sure.
They are.
we are a very active working board. We meet monthly and do more the governing things like you say. We look over budgets, we look over all the financials, we help her with that part of it. As far as allocation, obviously with any agency, and probably not specific to Paducah Day Nursery, but it always seems like we have more needs than we have funds.
Yes.
And so we spend a lot of time allocating and working on this, and hey, how can we streamline? How can we cut back here? How can we allocate more? What can we do to get more money in the classroom? You know, right now with back to school and with STARS ratings, and you know, we need bean bags in the rooms. We need Tinker toys in the rooms. We need these things in there, but a lot of times we have more needs than we do funding, and so we have to work on that. We find ways to be able to pull in more resources. We talk about grants. We talk about different companies that have supported us in the past, different agencies. Kiwanis has always been a very big supporter of Paducah Day Nursery, and they've always helped us out. And so we talk about those things. We talk about, because we are governed by the state for child care, because we're governed on the food program side, with social services, with STARS, there are constantly reports that are due, applications that are due. We have one due this week that we've been working on pretty heavily to get that in for the food program. And so we're constantly working on that, helping Cindy, as you can imagine, with a capacity of 66 kids in your daycare at one time, that's a full-time job. She doesn't have a time a lot of times for the reports and what about this, and then with 66 kids, there are parents and meetings, and we try to be very proactive and meet with the parents and, hey, how can we help you? Not just wipe your child's nose, but how can we really help you?
Well, and not every board is that active, and I will say from my experience in the last years, probably, Cindy, you are very blessed because you have probably one, well, no doubt, one of the best active boards, and that really work together for the betterment of the Paducah Day Nursery and the community.
I have Brent Housman and Joe Kimmler on speed dial. You know, a lot of the times that I look at it as, you know, I am very new to a career, and you know, out of college, and they are excellent mentors, excellent advisors. You know, a lot of the times it's not necessarily something that I need the board's advice, but it's something that I look, you know, to them to find the advice, or hey, how would you deal with this situation? You know, what do you think about this? So I am truly blessed, blessed.
We discussed at our board meeting just this morning, sometimes just a fresh set of eyes, just a fresh, if Cindy and her staff see it all day, every day,
that's
there
right.
are certain signage, certain posters, certain signs that we are required to have in the room. You know, Cindy may just, it's on that wall, she may walk past it every day and think it's there. You know, we go through audits, we go through checklists, and when I look at it, it's not there. Well, there's no telling how long maybe it was or wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sometimes just a fresh set of eyes, just a fresh opinion, somebody that's not in the trenches every day, I may see an issue completely different than they do. Hey, what about this perspective? Have you thought about this?
Well, I appreciate what your board has done in the past, and it's exciting to see a working board that works with staff, and then and basically with the welfare of the children in your minds every day, and that's important to me as a grandmother, and my grandchildren went to Paducah Day Nursery. They were a part of that, and I never hesitated when my daughter needed that care in saying, you go to the Paducah Day Nursery, they'll take care of the children, and they did. They loved them, even not knowing that I worked for United Way for many, many months. It made a difference to me in knowing they are treating my children like they do other people's children.
United Way also allows, you know, it allows us to do that. Paducah Day Nursery would not be there and be able to do the collaboration that I have with working with the partner agencies to find out what resources we have available to direct our parents to. It's, United Way has allowed, me that knowledge. So I thank you for that too, June.
Well, United Way has funded the day nursery. You've been a part of us since 1934, and you're older than United Way is, but you are, I think, one of the larger allocations from United Way, and one of our priorities is early childhood education, and you certainly are doing that because that is a great, great need, I think, in any community.
Absolutely.
But
They are
we
our
could not
future.
have too many of
Yes.
you all. Talk about your hours very quickly. We need to wrap
We are
up. But
Monday through Friday, we're open from 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evenings. After 6:30, we have to, know in advance on that. Please call the day nursery if you're interested, see what we've got, and we'll take you on a tour.
all right, and where are you located?
We are off of H.C. Mathis Drive, right next to the Parks and Recreation and the Senior Center. It's 14 in H.C. Mathis, I think.
Yes, 14th
Yes,
and
yes.
1335
1335
Atkins, on the corner of
Atkins Avenue,
Atkins.
yes.
A lot of people know us
Yeah.
by the soccer fields.
Yes.
Across
You're-
from Noble Park and the
And-
Parks and
Yes.
Rec Department
Yes.
at the soccer fields.
Yes,
Yes.
so you're there, you have a beautiful facility,
Yes, we
and you
do.
keep it well,
Yes.
and that it's exciting to see all the kids when they go out to
It is.
play, and to be over there and be a part of them
Mm-hmm.
sometime, because it thrills me to get the little hugs and climbing your legs, and so the day nursery, we're going to help get the word out that the Paducah Day Nursery is the best in town, and people need to support you with volunteer work, with any way that they possibly can. And they have children, they need to see you about taking care of them.
June, it's very exciting to me. So many times projects that we work on, you work day in, day out, you don't see a lot of results. You can walk in the day nursery over there, and there are certain kids that meet me at the door
Yes.
every time. Where have you been?
Yes.
What took you so long to come back? And you're talking about immediate gratification just lifts you up to get a hug around the leg, or, hey, let me show you this. Let me show you what we're drawing. Let me show you what we're playing. Let me show you this. So not just for parents needing daycare, but for people that want to give back something.
And it is a good feeling. You get that warm, fuzzy
Yes, you
feeling
do.
anytime a little
Yes.
child gives you a hug or smile, and so I appreciate that so much. We need to wrap up now, and thank you all so much for what you do, number one, and for sharing that with us today, and we'll get the word out on what you all
Great.
do and do well.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
June.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.